Alright guys, TacticalRab again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Big updates yesterday with regard to Modern Warfare 3. The multiplayer reveal comes through. Lots to talk about here, especially though on the new movement mechanics. Octane reckons that Shotzzy's going to absolutely love the new slide cancel in the game. Looks very fast, looks potentially very abusable as well. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Will Shotzzy have a field day? Very much enjoy to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. Just quickly on Rostermania, because challengers are starting to form their teams now, and when this happens, usually it means the actual CDL teams know what they're doing as well. I still don't know if Los Angeles Guerrillas have any idea what they're doing. I believe that they are contractually mandated to field the roster, even though they might not want to. So I think that there will be 12 teams in the CDL next season. Vegas, I imagine, have done something. My understanding is that London have actually made some significant progress in choosing their roster. I'm somewhat surprised we haven't heard any leaks on it yet from JKL. I don't really know what their roster is, but I think they might have gone down the Clayster route. So we'll see on that maybe over the coming days. But I think they probably have a good idea what they're doing. Possibly Vegas do as well. Guerrillas, I really don't know right now. But we've started to see over the last couple of days, challengers teams get formed, and typically that only happens when some of the challenger players have gone up to the CDL teams and they kind of know who's left to form the rosters elsewhere. And as Doug says, it's pretty much time as well to confirm what the Boston Breach Academy is going to be for the upcoming season, with JurNii Pentagram +1 on the roster. So that's the Rostermania stuff for now. I think there will be more over the coming days here, so hit the sub button, all that good stuff. This then was the world premiere for the multiplayer side of MWIII. Lots of interesting stuff in here, as always. There was the diamond camo, right, that was spotted, so, you know, cool to see this type of stuff get leaked kind of early on. It looks kind of nice. I mean, look, it's a diamond camo, we know what it is. Also did want to mention this, though, from JP Krez, that was an interesting spot. This looks very much like the map Countdown from Call of Duty 4. We can actually see here that from this angle, it's literally Countdown. I mean, there really can be no other explanation. But in the background, we can see what looks like the Warzone map. So I'm guessing that the Countdown here has been brought back in as a point of interest on the Warzone map. This is Countdown, if you guys are unfamiliar. It's the map with all the hangars around, and there's all the missiles that get launched off and stuff like this. Classic COD 4 map. They brought it back in the remastered version as well, of course, but I don't believe it was in any other games. But it is going to be in this game, probably as part of the Warzone map. But then you got to wonder, alright, well, if they're bringing back certain COD 4 maps, not just MW2 maps, as part of the Warzone points of interest, could there possibly be other ones as well? Because, yeah, we're going to have the 16 MW2 original maps come back into this new title, but if they're bringing back other ones as well from other games in different areas, maybe a map like Strike, or maybe even some MW3 maps, Arcade and Resistance, Lockdown, whatever, could maybe return at some point as well. Probably not at launch, but it's definitely a possibility that if maps are getting brought in here, they could also be ported over to the multiplayer side as well, if Sledgehammer would want to do so. This was also spotted that we can see here that in the sky we've got the Harrier, which, you know, I mean, obviously that's pretty nostalgic. They know what they're doing, right? You know, they do this all the time, and they managed to get the nostalgia flowing again with all the Harriers. Also an EMP strike, which is quite clearly seen right here, which of course destroys the Harrier and all the other electronic equipment, just like, well, Black Ops 2, the EMP system was a thing. This, though, is the side cancel, and we'll get to that in just a second. This, though, was also noted. I think it was probably expected, but nonetheless was quite cool to see, the high-rise jump spot. If you guys aren't aware about this, high-rise is probably, of the beta maps, and we'll see them in a second, probably the only map the pros are actually going to play competitively. And the classic spot, probably the most famous jump spot really in all of COD, is this one on high-rise, where, well, there's two things to look at here where these circles are. Firstly, there's this part where if you jump from this ledge over to here and you get it right, and you can't fall off the map if you do it wrong, but if you get it right, it's okay, and you climb up here and you walk on this ledge all the way around this building, and if you do it for long enough, you'll get all the way to the other side, you can go up this little thing, and then you can get to the top of the roof. And it's a great spot. It's not easy to get to, especially in the middle of a search and destroy map, which is where you might want to use it, and of course you are in the middle of the open, so somebody could just take you down if they were looking. So this is where the question raises to me, is this a spot that should be gentleman's agreemented? Because if you're up here, you can't plant the bomb, you can't defuse the bomb, although it is a very good vantage point. Getting there is tricky, there is some degree of skill involved, and also you are very vulnerable. So, you know, are the pros going to say, let's not use that? Or are the pros going to say, well, you know, if you could get up there, fair enough, because I don't know. There's a debate to be had on that. The other one that's probably more interesting is the is actually at the bottom of the screen here. You guys can see this other man, and you can run around the outside of the map. And this is, if you guys remember evac in Black Ops 3, it was all wall running on the outside of the map. And it was kind of outrageous the way that map played, to be honest, although I still kind of loved it. This was, in some sense, the predecessor to that, where there was a ledge here where you could go outside of the map and all the way around to the other side of the spawn. So it cut off a little bit of time, and it was one you had to watch, and it's a spot that is going to be back on the new game as well. It was obviously a route that people would use in search and destroy and stuff as well. So yeah, good to note that these things are returning. You can also get up on the crane as you used to be able to previously, but I do have to wonder what the, slasher and accuracy, the gentleman's agreement arbiters would say on this, and what the pros are going to think about some of these spots, whether they should be off limits or whether they shouldn't. So High Rise, we believe, will be in the game on the second weekend of the beta. Initially, though, it's going to be Rust, Favela, Skid Row, and Estate. Not maps that I would expect to be played on competitive. Maybe there's a chance that Favela gets played if the game modes, if the third game mode, I don't really think that's going to be viable for Hardpoint or Search, at least competitively. It should be fun for pubs as it was back in the day. The third game mode, though, we don't really know. I mean, Control, I think, still remains the most likely. There's talk about CTF. There's also talk about, like, Sabotage, Headquarters, Demolition, One Flag, CTF. There's all sorts of possibilities they could run with. Depends, of course, what's in the game in the first place, because you can't play a game mode that's actually not in the game at launch, which is a bit of an issue. And maybe Favela could play well for one of those game modes as well. But yeah, we can see all the old school maps here they're bringing back. They know how the nostalgia works. They've done well. And also it was spotted, they made sure they got this in the trailer. Red dots on the minimap. Right, this is not being revealed by a UAV. This guy's trying to shoot with an unsilenced weapon. The red dot is back. And it was the big complaints that the pros had really for the majority of the season. There's two sides to this argument, because on one hand, no red dots on the minimap means it's like in Halo, right? You don't get, the minimap doesn't give you the information for free. Red dots, I think, should absolutely be on the minimap in CoD, but there was an argument that said that some teams, at least on a competitive level, 4v4 in the CDL, those that had better comms can actually, get around this to some degree, and those that were struggling with comms and knowing how to call out very quickly and very effectively were getting caught out by this. But still, I think it's absolutely good news that it's back. And the other part, of course, is the slide cancel. So the movement is definitely back in this game in full force. Nostalgia is definitely there as well. Red dot, movement, reload cancel, and the slide cancel at that as well. And this is the footage here of the slide cancel. So yeah, I'll share what Octane has to say on this here in a second. We can quite clearly see that it's a pretty quick and effective slide cancel. It's not like the Ghost slide where you can't do much. It looks a little bit, at the end of the slide, it's not exactly clunky, I would say, but the way he brings the gun up isn't like absolutely incredible quick snapper. It might just be the gun that he's got, maybe with an SMG with faster ADS speeds. It doesn't look quite like the Cold War one, where you could come out of the slide cancel and immediately be ADSing, but maybe that's just the attachment he's got on the weapon. So yeah, this is what Octane has to say on it, and he's very excited for it, but yeah, he don't play it anymore, right? He's now retired.
Yeah, I just refreshed. I'm just on a video now. Wait, bro, the slide cancel was actually quick as though. Wait, it was a derail clip. Where's the derail clip? Here it is. It was like right here. Nah, bro, look how fast this is, chat. This is speedy, dude. Like, that's a slide cancel.
That's a slide cancel.
That's a slide cancel right there. Holy shit, we're back. Let's go. Shotzies rejoice. All Shotzies in the world rejoice. That was speedy, dude. Wait, the maps, though? The maps look good. Wait, the maps, like, unironically look really good. Like, look at that. Bro, they made Downpour look good.
So Simp seems particularly excited about this as well. MWIII trailer looked fire. Can it be November already? And yeah, we think that Simp is probably going to be quite good at this game. Theoretically, there's slightly longer time to kill. There's a few elements of this game that look a little bit like Black Ops Cold War. At least, looking back at that title, there's a few things that have been replicated by Sledgehammer here that Infinity Ward have not done for certainly the last year. How's this going to go in terms of the slide cancel? How good is it going to be? Because, you know, it looks pretty fast. And there's other movement that looks good in the game as well. Definitely we saw a few weeks ago now, there was a player that was jumping around on high rise. The mantling looked really fast. The movement speed looks quick. There's also been some rumors that they're going to make the maps slightly larger to compensate for the increased movement speed. So we'll see how that goes, because I'm sure they must have done some testing to be like, all right, back in MW2, how long did it take me to run from spawn A to spawn B? And all right, let's time that on the stopwatch. And then how long does it take on this new game to do the same thing? Especially with sliding and, you know, you can move a bit faster nowadays. Because if you move too fast, the map plays different. The map therefore plays slightly smaller if you're moving quicker, and that's not always necessarily a good thing. So I'm sure they'll have had to calculate this. Hopefully they've done a good job on it when the game launches and when we see the beta get played in just a couple of days' time now at this point. Is Shotzzy going to love this slide cancel? I think that in general it's quite good to see some degree of movement come back into the game. I know that slide cancel, honestly, it's weird because when MW2 was announced and there was no slide cancel in the game, everyone was rejoicing, yeah, let's go, Infinity Ward have finally done it, get rid of slide cancel. And then a year later, we were like, actually, yeah, we kind of want the slide cancel back. So it's how COD fans are, I guess, at some point. But I'm sure Shotzzy is on the side of preferring more movement, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty effective one, all things considered. There was also some drama here before we close out, and also we'll discuss this Scump Ghosty clip in a second as well, on the COD Next tournament. Well, it's not really a tournament, actually, right? It's just a reveal for the new COD game. And as Karma says, someone sneaked me in their suitcase to COD Next. And this is the thing, right? They can't invite everyone, and that's fine. They can only invite certain people, but they don't invite as many people, especially from, you know, the competitive COD scene and the, you know, let's say legendary players, as I think would be a good idea. I mean, these are the guys that are going. So Scump's going as well, let's not forget. Like, he's also going out there, but he wasn't listed for some reason on the official list of names that they came out with. So Crone just took it from that. And the names that were on that list are Methods, who's definitely going, Shotzzy, Cell, Attach Accuracy. Attach and Accuracy, they always tend to go to these things, which is good. I think they're at least, well, usually based out of LA. So maybe that makes a little bit more sense if that's where it actually is going on. TP, Ben J. the Thieves going as well, just go, and the TST guys. So yeah, that's your crop from the competitive scene, which is good, but it's not quite, you know, as Jacob Hale says, there's 8 billion people in the world. There's 3 people that are 3-time COD World Champions, Crimsix, Karma, and Priestahh, and yet none of them go, none of them get invited. It's like, you know, I don't really agree with the way this goes. And even as Daryl says, current world champs of your official esports league did not get invited either, right? You know, inviting one of the guys, you know, like Kismet or someone like that from the team that won champs would be a nice thing to do, but yeah, that's not the case. As Jake says, there's an esports league. They have an esports league. Were they aware of this? I don't know. So again, not necessarily sending the best message, and just wanted to close out with this clip here, which is pretty funny, when Scump happened to run into Ghosty in a game of Apex Legends, and well, took him down, and a little bit of trash talk resulted. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.
Wait for that moment.
Wait, what's that? Yeah! Yourself, Daniel! Peace! Yourself, Daniel! Motherfucker!
Where are these other ones at?
On these pills, yeah. It's Seth, bro. It's fucking Seth.
They should just got straight colluded on.